So I think that growing up, I saw evidence of times where I was learning about how to take care of my own mental and emotional health, but I just wasn't equipped. I didn't know how to do it. The real catalyst for me was some wonderful news that Brad and I were expecting we were pregnant for the first time. And the same ultrasound where we found out that we were having twins, which was always a dream of mine, we found out that we had had a miscarriage. And that really sent me into a downward spiral. That's another thing that maybe we don't talk about enough at church is the pain of loss in that way. And it was a truly devastating loss for us. I did not deal with that pain and grief well. I went back to work and kind of tried to ignore everything. I don't recommend that. What I realized is several months later, we again were pregnant with our first Lucy, and it was one of the very darkest times in my life. I was terrified. I was overwhelmed with fear and anxiety, debilitating fear and anxiety, and worry and fear, and it was a terrible experience in a lot of ways because I was so sad and afraid. Then we had our first, and we were home with this baby, and I continued to suffer. All the things that I had asked God for, He had indeed given to me, and I was hollow and scared and couldn't feel anything and had lost so much of my joy. And it wasn't far into when our firstborn was home, probably just 2 or 3 months, when I very vividly remember sitting in the rocking chair in Lucy's nursery and holding her, and I could not stop crying and was filled with such despair. And Brad very gently and lovingly came to me and knelt beside my chair, and he just very quietly said to me, "I think you need to talk to someone." Because Brad was someone I trusted and loved, that can be a delicate thing to say to someone, but because of the data I'd collected on Brad over the many years, I knew that he was not saying that to me lightly or flippantly. And what I appreciated about, amongst many things in that moment, is Brad helped me put feet. I needed to do something. I couldn't do anything. So Brad helped me activate. He helped me make an appointment with my doctor. He watched the baby while I visited with my doctor. And for me, the careful and thoughtful plan of attack, after much consideration and prayer, was to utilize medication, which was God's grace to me. I also think that the next step was me seeing a counselor, which has been a really consistent part of my life, a really essential and important part. And as I continued through pregnancies and Brad working full-time and going to seminary full-time and us moving and being pregnant and having babies, I was better equipped each time to know what to expect, to know what to do with the depression and the anxiety that was weighing so heavy on me. I utilized God's graces to me, his gifts of people and relationships with professionals and relationships with counselors to find a place of healing, and I think for me a place of health. I never like to use the word normal because everybody's a little weird and off. But I knew for myself that there was a medium, and I was all over the place. And I wanted to be the best version of me, Allison, so then I could therefore be the best version of a mom and a wife and a friend. That was motivating to me because I knew that the pain in my heart and in my soul was so debilitating that I couldn't function at a more reasonable, balanced place for me. And I continue to find ways every day to seek those healthy patterns, those life-bringing patterns that are so important.